Alright guys, got another video for you. We have the LED light show. On this LED light show, it wants you to light up 3 different patterns. One that flashes alternates, like odd and even. One that chases from 0 all the way up to 30, or 29. And a random color light up. Alright, I'm going to give you some tools that you can use to solve this. What I want you to do is open up the LED light strip code. So there's this. And you can take a look around here, but have this open, and we're going to go ahead and open up Replit. And I've created my Replit to look like this. DEF is like defining a function. You'll see that that looks a lot like our ready function right there. In Godot they use func, and Python we use def to create a function, so that's that. This right here says, it just basically says play the ready function once. So this is going to work a lot like our Godot. Okay, let's start off by doing some basics here. So I'm going to push this ready function down to the bottom. If I wanted to print out one of these lights, I would reference LED lights, that's the array. This is also the same thing here in Godot, LED lights. All of my children of the light holder, or of the lights, are here. You can look at it. In the LED strip, LED holder has all of these sprites. And it's labeled LED lights. So that's an array that holds all of the lights. Same thing. Alright, let's say we want to print off one of them. We could say LED underscore lights and then square brackets. What that means is I want to reference one of these lights inside of this array. Now what we put inside of here is the number or the address for which light we want to turn on or look at or mess with or whatever. Let's do, if we wanted to do purple, if we wanted to print out the purple one, I would say print LED light, and then I could say 2, which would be purple because its address is 2. So the way I was explaining this in class was, this is like the street address, or this is like the street, and this is like the house address. So that if you're trying to find your friend's home, he'll tell you what street and what the address is. And then you find the street and then look on the numbers on the houses until you find the correct home. So right there, this would be address number 2. So if I run this, you'll see that it prints off purple. So we went to the light and printed off the color or the what's in there. This is just a string. So a string that says purple. Let's try the same thing in Godot. We'll come down to the ready function. We'll reference, let's print them off first. We'll print it off first. We'll print LED underscore lights, square brackets, and let's do 2. Let's do 2, just like that other one. LED lights. Oh, I gotta spell lights. L-I-G-H. I gotta spell lights correctly for that to work. Okay, so I'm on the LED strip. So whenever I'm going to play this scene so I don't have to read that text document every time. Now when I run it, you'll see that it prints out sprite 1203. In Godot, in Replit, it printed out the color, or it printed out the name of it. So this is basically what element you're referencing. So it's referencing the one of them over here that says that is a sprite. Well, each one of these objects in here, they're all sprites, but their names are not the same. Just a little tip here. Godot has a lot more information than this. Each one of these objects has a whole bunch of things. It's got like position and size and all kinds of things. These are just strings. So these are our examples. So if I came over here and I put type, if I typed dot name, it's going to look up the second the element number 2, and then it's going to tell you what the name is, and it should say 3, LED 3. I should have started with 0, but I didn't. So you guys will have to use that to confuse you. All right, let's go back to the next one here. All right, so it's great. We can print off one. If we wanted to print off all of them, I could just say LED lights and then run, and now it's going to print off each element in the list. All right, so let's just change one of the colors of these lights here. So how would we do that in Godot? Well, all we would have to do is we would say LED underscore lights dot, and then in Godot you want to modulate. That goes to the LED light. Oh, I didn't put an address in there, so let's put an address. Which one do I want to color? Let's do that number 2 again. 2. That's what it would look like in Godot if you wanted to change its color. So I'll make that a comment. In Python, I'm just going to say print change LED underscore lights square bracket 2. Let's see, dot modulate. I could say LED lights color 2. What color do we want to do? Let's do red. So we would reference the light. So we go to the street and the address, and then we'd say change its modulate, which is color, which would be equal to red. So if we wanted to change the color of the light to red, we would put something like that. Let's do it in Godot right quick. We'll just get rid of this print statement. So we reference the light, change the color, red, like so. And now when we run this, ooh, nothing. Oh, I didn't do dot modulate, LOL. Dot modulate. Let's run this. Red. All right. Now, a good exercise for you to try. See if you can color the first 5 red and the last 5 red. I'll give you, see if you can do it, pause the video, color the first 5 red, last 5 red. And I'll be back with how, one of the ways you could have done it. Give you a couple seconds. Alright, I'm back. I've got the first 5 red and the last 5 red. Now if you just use the same way that we did just a second ago to light up one of the colors, your code might look something like this. It grabs the first 5 red and changes the last 5 red. Alright, so one of the tricky parts of this is in this array, they're numbered from 0 all the way up to 29. That makes a total of 30. That's kind of why I was saying this part over here is kind of confusing because it has numbers 1 through 30. But you'll notice in here I numbered them correctly, so that's kind of confusing. Hopefully maybe it didn't trick you too bad. So these start at 0 all the way up to 5, and then if you wanted to color the last 5, you would also do it like that. Another way you could do it is not only doing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you could also do negative 1, 2, 3, 4. That will grab the last number. Negative 1 is the last one, negative 2 second to last, negative 3 third to last, negative 4 fourth to last, and so on. So that would also work as well. Alright, so that's a good exercise. But what if you had 1,000 lights and somebody told you to color the first 150 red and the last 150 red? Are you really going to write 300 lines like this? No, that's not a wise way to do it. Let me show you how you can do it a better way, and that's going to be with a loop. So in our loop, or what we want to do with a loop is really good at doing the same thing over and over and over again. So let's use a for loop because we already have an array to work on here. So we're going to say for, and this part right here coming up, so you start the you start the loop, which loop, so which loop you're doing. So I'm doing a for loop. Then you need a variable to use on. In what, and then finally array. So that's what it's going to look like. So which loop are we going to use? We're going to use the for loop. Then we need to create a variable for ourselves. So you don't have to declare it. You can just put it right here and it'll create it for just the loop. So I'm going to say light. And notice I'm using a lowercase l. That is important. In Godot or Godot, they use the capital L light as a special item. So for light in LED underscore lights, like this. That says for each light, for every address in here, so for each address, it's going to store it into light, and then it's going to do some code. And we just want to go to any of the lights. Let's just color them all red. Let's start off with that. So let's do LED. No. Each one of these addresses are getting stored into light. So we don't want to type LED lights. That would be the whole array. We just want to do one light at a time. So let's do light.modulate is equal to red. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to go to the first, it's going to grab the first item in the LED lights array and it's going to store it into light. Then you can dot modulate it to red. And you can just keep going and it'll go to all the lights in the array and it'll change them red. Now in Replit it doesn't really work that well because they don't have dot modulate. So we're going to say, let's just do print light. Alright, so it's going to go to each light and print them out one at a time. You'll notice that when we did it right here, we printed them all, the whole array. This time it's going to print them one at a time. So right there, green, then blue, then purple, then yellow, then red, then orange. It went one up and down. Alright, let's do the same thing in Godot. Let's get rid of all of this. And we're going to say for light in LED underscore lights. And then we'll just say light.modulate equals red. Capital R there. Alright, now what's going to happen is when you run this, it's going to color every single light red. Great. Excellent. Alright, so we also need to keep the lights, like originally we said the first 5 and the last 5, but we don't want every single light lit up. So we're going to need to reference the light's address each time and check it with our condition. So in Replit or Python, you can find the address of the light in reverse. Like right now, we're able to read it and see that this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3. We can also do the same process in reverse. We could print off each light's address. So let's see if we can do that. So what we would want to do is we want to go to the street or the array, and then we want to say LED underscore lights. And then to find the address, you can use this right here, .index. And then you want to say which element you're looking for. So if you're looking for the green one or the purple light, you can put purple in there. It'll give you the purple light's address. So if I run that, oops, LED lights dot index. Oh, I'm not printing it. Print. Alright, so if you print it, it'll tell you where the light's at. Purple is at the 2 spot. Well, I want to know where each light is at. So I don't want to just know where purple is. I want to know which one, where it's at, the one we're talking about, which would be light. So I'll put light in here. Hopefully y'all saw that. It basically, purple only references 1, but if I replace it with purple with the light, it's going to tell you the each number. So there's the address for each one. So green is 0, blue is 1, purple is 2, 3 is yellow. All right, so now we find each of the addresses by using this. I'm going to make a little note for myself here. Returns the address. Now, one thing in Godot, there's a difference here. In Godot, they don't use index. They use find. So it works the exact same way. You just don't use index. You use find. It looks for a certain element. So in this one, if we wanted to change the light's color, and let's say we'll use less than 2 and greater than 3. So we'll skip the 2 and 3. So we'll say if the address, so here's the address. If the address is less than 2, we want to, and I'll just print, color the light red. All right. I'll comment this whole thing out so it doesn't mess me up. So it should say it 2 times. It should say 0 and 1 because that's less than 2. So it should say color the light red, color the light red. All right. Let's give this a shot in Godot now. All right, we'll come over here. And now we want to find the address of each of these lights. Now remember I said that find is the way that you're going to do that. So let's say if, and then we're looking for the address, so LED underscore lights dot find. We want to know the address of the light, so I'm going to say light. That's going to give me an address here. If it is less than, what, 5? Less than or equal to 5. So if it is less than or equal to 5, we want to do something. We want to color the light red. Light dot modulate equals red. So if the light's address is less than or equal to 5, we want to change the color to red. So we'll run this again. Ooh, I think I have my sign flipped back. So I've got this sign flipped around the wrong way. So it's saying if it's greater than or equal to 5. So let me flip this around. So if it's less than or equal to 5. All right, see if you can figure out a way to also write the last 5 and color those red. I'm going to pause it. See if you can color the last 5 red. All right. So hopefully you had enough time. Oh, it looks like I got the first 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't want to include 5. Try it again. Here we go. There we go. I had the first 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here's 2 different ways to get the same thing. I'll show you both of them. So you might have wrote another if statement. It would look like that. If LED lights dot find light is greater than or equal to 25, then you want to color it red. You could have also written it all together on one line like this by using an or statement. I'll get rid of this part here. And then instead of having 2 if statements, you could just write an or. Now notice that you have to write the first part of it 2 times in a row. I'll get a colon at the end. So it says you have to put the address if the address is less than 5 or if the address is greater than or equal to 25. So I kind of put both of those lines together. This will give the same result for both of them, even though I use 1 line on one and 2 on the other. All right, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to do the last one really quick. So let's say we wanted to color every 3rd light. Oops. If I wanted to color every 3rd light, I would check the address. I would say if the address, so I'm grabbing that address part, modulus 3 is equal to 0. What does that mean? That means if you take the address and divide it by 3, and it gives you the remainder of 0. So modulus returns the remainder. Modulus returns the remainder. So if you do modulus 3, it'll tell you what the remainder of the address is. If the remainder is 0, let's color the light blue. So light dot modulate, and then we'll just turn it blue. The colors you can use are up here. I'm pretty sure hopefully you already know that. Comma, not comma. All right, so if I run this again, you should see every third light. So the 0 light has no remainder, so it turns blue. The 3 light has no remainder, it turns blue. The 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on and so forth. All right, so this hopefully will help you solve this stuff down here. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good day.